This podcast episode is an amazing conversation I had with William Pickernell, also known as Nativesaiyan. William started his fitness journey in 2019 when he was bedbound and got a pretty alarming wake-up call which made him want to change his life. He's lost over 200 pounds since then and reclaimed a lot of his independence. Let's get into the episode. I can't believe this is actually the first time we're chatting. I
I know
feel
it's
like we
been a long time. Like, I don't know how long.
I think like so I remember meeting you or you tagging me in a video in like COVID times and yeah, you tagged me in a video. You were wearing a mask, I believe.
Mhm.
And
That's really early on because I was actually the reason I wore the mask is because I had like this,
oh wow.
so I
Okay.
didn't like that, and like yeah, I got over it after I started losing a little bit more weight.
Wow,
So
yeah,
I was
you've definitely come a long way and
Mhm.
man, you've been through quite the journey. Like I think on your Instagram captions or your Instagram description, you were saying that you were over 600 pounds. I think it was 674 and you're currently 460. I mean, to be able to go through that huge transformation, it requires a lot of dedication and consistency. And I wanted to talk to you mostly about that because obviously, um, it requires that amount of dedication, and consistency. But also, obviously, there's your ups and downs, and a lot of people experience that as well. So, I mean, I'm sure you speak about this a lot, but like, how did your journey start how was the road along the way?
I want to be rude and I
Oh,
want to interrupt because I absolutely love your content. I've been sitting here
thank you.
what I want to say.
Uh,
And like I remember like the first time that he was showing me you and just the fact that you started like you help people at level 0.
yeah.
That's a big thing we like about you.
Because when we Google searched or whatever searched beginner workouts,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
do an easy 5 miles. There's nothing easy about 5 miles
I
or 20 burpees or a minute plank that is not beginner.
Oh, trust me, I know that, and that's how it all started, right? And first of all, I just wanted to say, like, I love you, and you in the videos and the way that you support William is just it's so inspiring and so loving. And I love your couple videos where you do all these little jokes and it's so amazing. And I remember one of those videos where you were helping him with the workouts and you're kind of like doing assisted sit-ups from the bed, and I was just like, wow, that's it reminds me of me and my fiance where we were really a team when it comes to our fitness journeys. So it's so great to meet you, and thank you so much for all your kind words. So yeah, going back to our conversation a bit earlier, like you've been through quite the journey, man. Like honestly,
Mhm.
that's and I know like sometimes I watch your videos and you're being so hard on yourself, and it's totally understandable, but you've accomplished a lot. And just to let's talk about the weight loss, and that's not the only thing that we consider as an accomplishment. I'm sure you know that as well, but how was that journey, and what are you continuing to do to continue with your goals?
That journey has definitely been really hard. It just the constant hard on myself. It just I don't know where that comes from. I think it's the competitiveness in myself because when I was in high school, it was always we're always the best at my school.
Mhm.
Who's like the best
Mhm.
everything in Washington State, like the best wrestling team, the best football team, the best powerlifting. Like we're 27 years when I was there, years straight in powerlifting competition where it's always number one.
Mhm.
A
Yeah.
lot of our players went to national powerlifting championships, and I our school is so filled with competitors that I benched 450 pounds in high school,
Wow.
but I still ranked number three in our school.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how like it was insane.
Mm.
But my weight gain started right after high school because I was, did football, did wrestling, track and field, powerlifting. And then the next year, I'm like, let's try something different. Let's do, cross country. Let's do, actually did cheerleading for 2 quarters. And, I just wanted to stay active. It was mainly at home situations, but, I was always doing something. And then when you become an adult, it's work, go home, sleep, work, go home, sleep, work, go, you're not doing anything
Yeah.
unless you're like driven to actually do something. And I didn't know what to do outside of high school.
How did you surmount that obstacle? What made you want to begin your fitness journey?
You'd think your coming to terms moment, like your aha moment, your
Hmm.
moment would be being bedbound. That
Yeah.
wasn't it for me. When I look back, I'm like, why wouldn't that be a wake up moment? Why wouldn't that be like, I need to lose weight? And it wasn't. It was a call that I had to make 911 when I
Hmm.
was bedbound because my pain was like, it usually sat around level 5, 6, 7. This was at like level 10, like peak pain, like the highest I'd ever felt. And we had to call 911. Like,
Wow.
and they had an ambulance come over. First, it was just like regular 2 people, 3 people. And then they're like, okay, we need firefighter here and we need another ambulance because we need to carry him out. And he's a bigger guy. That I heard them say that.
Wow.
And they had 6 men and 5 of them were firefighters. My wake up call was when it took 6 men to carry you out of your room.
Hmm.
And my fear was like they'd have to break down this wall just to get me out if I passed away in my bed. And I don't want that kind of like guilt on my family, like press or something, like because I know stuff like that goes in the newspapers. It goes in the news. We had to break down the wall to get a guy who
Yeah.
was like 1,000 pounds out of his house, type of thing. And I didn't want that for my family because we're big, huge on tradition. And yeah, whatever you do makes your family look bad, makes your tribe look bad, makes your, it's all
Hmm.
sorts of things like that.
And
And yeah, what?
that was kind of like your the spark that kind of got everything started for you.
Mhm.
Around when was that? Was that during like COVID times or
That
20
was in 2019. It was pre-COVID.
pre-COVID? Yeah. Yeah.
Weird. I was questioning people when they use COVID as like a time frame.
Right?
It's so odd to me. Like, but yeah, people like if you ask anyone around the world, they're like pre-COVID or after COVID, like people would know when you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. To me, it's because I feel like that's when I met you and I met these amazing people, and that kind of like was a moment in my life where things kind of changed for me too when I dedicated my life into to help beginners and people with limited mobility. And um because pre-COVID, I don't think you knew the type of content that I was posting on other social media motivational accounts. It wasn't close to what I was doing now, and you might have thought that I was even cringy because I was like your typical um
Gym bro, I think I remember I watched a video on you. You were talking about like your pre-videos was like, look at me, look at me, look at me.
yeah, 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 yeah. And I would be like, everything was about like physical fitness and aesthetics and the weight loss side of fitness, which is okay, if that's your journey or whatever, but there's more to it. And again, going back to my sister and her journey with cancer, and how she just wanted to feel good, and how we understood that moving a little bit uh will help you feel good, will bring you that confidence, will help increase circulation, which could in turn um help you feel better, and not just physically but mentally. And I started to understand that during COVID times, and that's kind of when I made that transition. Mind you, it was a gradual transition because as I was doing beginner workouts, I think even during the time when we met, like I was doing the bed stuff, and I think you duetted one of my videos, but at the same time I was kind of also doing Freestyle Friday, where I was doing freestyle push-ups, where I was essentially doing like those crazy push-ups where you're flying in the air and things like that. And then I realized that I wasn't really serving people. I was entertaining them, but I wasn't really helping them. And I want to use, and at the time I think I had a good following. I think I was reaching 100,000. And I had to make that choice. Am I going to use my platform to serve people, or just to make them be like, ooh, ah, wow? And I really want to serve people because I think it's a responsibility that I have. And it also, if I can do some good in the world, I think that's how I want to do it, using my social media platform. And I think you can relate too, right? Like, you
Mhm.
have such a positive attitude, and you inspire so many people just with your positive attitude. And I love how you're always like, I love you. and it just makes everybody feel good. Um, how do you keep that going? Like, why are you so positive? Why are you so always so happy? I mean, like I could see your room; it's filled with amazing things, and I could understand why you're such a good guy. But like, what gives you those positive vibes on a daily basis?
For me, it was growing up. I had to grow up fast.
Mm,
I never really like had. I wouldn't say I didn't have a childhood, but we grew up poor. I talk to this about my wife all the time. Like she's like, "Did you watch this on Disney Channel?" Like this was like for me Disney Channel like in the 90s, 80s because I was born in 85. So, 92, 95, 97, like all that years, we had zero money.
mm,
Like my mom basically said, we're paying the bill on whoever calls first because we're so behind on all our bills. Whoever calls and says, "Hey, you're overdue," that's the one getting paid.
mm. Yeah,
We
yeah, yeah,
had
yeah.
zero food in. I remember us sharing, those mac and cheese boxes. As a family of four, we shared $1 because that's how poor we were.
Wow.
And, just growing up with absolutely nothing and having to, find a way to make money even when I was 11, 12, just to help out with anything, even if it was just like $10. And she'd like, go buy yourself something at the store with the $10. I'm like, I don't want to though. Like we have totally different perspective on money because I want to give everything away that I
Yeah.
make on social media. But she wants to like, we need savings. We need to put this away. We have this bill. We have that bill. I'm like, money will come and go, but helping other people out is really what I want to do.
Mm. Yeah, it
So
sounds like you have a lot of, because of your upbringing, you have a lot of gratitude, right? You count your blessings, and same thing for me, right? My parents come from the Philippines, and when they came here, they essentially had nothing. And when they had us, I can't say that we were poor, or we were definitely, trying to make ends meet, but they definitely taught us to feel blessed with everything that they were giving us, and to feel lucky to be here in a first world country. And that's the same thing for me, right? Like every time we receive any type of money or whatever, it's we don't take it for granted, and I think that's really important. Going back to your account, I really love the workouts that you do, because it's like you kind of use your surrounding and your environment to get some movement in, and you started this new trend, move for 1 minute.
mhm.
uh yeah, and I also saw you doing some grocery or Walmart walks, where you're walking around and getting your steps in. And I've been following your steps, man. That's amazing. You've been pretty consistent with that. What are your goals in terms of like workouts? What do you do on a daily basis?
Oh, I try to get at least 5,000 steps in, but I like in my mind, I'm like, if I say 5,000, I'm going to push myself to 6 or 7,000. So I just keep it at five until I could do it for a whole week straight. Then I was going to up it to six, which every time, like one day out of the week, I'm like, okay, I got seven, but now it's only 6 p.m. Can I get to eight? Can I get to nine? And then when I get to that 9, 10, my body's just like sore. And then I only get like 4 or 5,000 the next day after that because I'm so hurting.
And
So it doesn't happen a week yet, not yet.
what do you do to get those steps in? Like, do you walk around like your neighborhood, or you do it from
Yeah,
home?
I walk around the neighborhood. We walk around the house. I don't know if you know him. His name is Zach Mooney. Zach Money. I don't know. I forgot how to say his last name, but he was 720 pounds, if I remember right. But
Mm,
his workout at the very beginning was literally walking from his kitchen to his room, kitchen to literally just.
yeah, yeah.
And when he lost the weight, his belly went down to his calf with so much loose skin. I'm like, that was, yeah, he had like, he's on his fourth skin removal because it was so bad.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, he's one of the people who motivated me just walk around your house.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of content creators out there that I watched at the very beginning, like, what's his name? Extreme Weight Loss Home Edition.
Okay.
Forget what, but I was in one of his lives and he only had like 10 people in there at that time. And so, okay, we're gonna do Q&A. And I asked the question because at that time I literally the 911 call just happened. I was trying to figure out what workouts I could do
Mhm.
being bedbound, and I asked him, and then he said, just stand up,
Yeah.
sit down, stand up. Like if you can't do anything, you could possibly stand up. If you can do that, and that's where the assisted stand up came from, doing the sit ups and all that.
Yeah,
Was
yeah, yeah.
you can't do it yourself, have someone help, and you're giving 30%, next time give 40%, next time give 60, like just progressively give a little bit more effort, and pretty soon you'd be rocking. I could do, I think it's 25 sit-ups in a row now from straight laying down.
Mm.
It hurts after the 25 though. But
Yeah,
yeah, he's
I love seeing that progress. So like you mentioned when you were doing stuff from the bed, and then I think you posted a video where I think it was in 2019 when it took you a certain amount of seconds to go up the stairs, and then you shut that down by, a lot less. I think it was what, 8 seconds, and it took you like 3 seconds. I can't remember the exact
Mhm.
amount, but um, it was so much faster. And then just seeing you move around more freely, that it's incredible. I understand. I remember seeing one video where you introduced your kind of like your workout area, right? And is that in your
Mhm.
backyard?
Yep.
What's that like?
We have it started out just with a table, and then I just kind of threw my what is it called, resistance bands.
Yeah.
But over the time, through I'm never gonna do a promotion video, but people just send me stuff. I don't know
Really?
why. Yeah, but some person sent me like one of those adjustable dumbbells where you can put it
Yeah,
on like
yeah.
pounds, 10, 15, 20. Yeah. All you have to do is rotate it and then like put the clip in. But I've like literally everything people just sent me.
You have
And
like your own gym going on, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I got everything now from resistance belt to big old one of those hammer things, which my shoulders like don't
Yeah,
rotate that
yeah.
really big shoulder muscles.
Hmm.
Just like that's as far as they go.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to work more on mobility. I always say that, but I never stretch. I
You got to get into that.
know. See, I
But
know
like,
this because my physical therapist, my personal trainer, they all tell me you need to stretch a lot more. Because my personal trainer was stretching my legs and like, can you go even like she was trying to push it, and she said even her pushing my leg was she could tell they were really tight trying to
what's
stretch.
what's preventing you? What makes you not like want to stretch? Is it something you just don't enjoy?
Um, I I don't know.
You just don't
It
think about it.
hurts, but I know if I stretch it, it'll go away.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Oh,
I know
well,
I have to stretch. I keep saying I need to stretch. I have to stretch, and I've been saying that since 2019.
and well, one thing at a time, one victory at a time. I think you got you're nailing your steps. So I guess that could be the next the next step in your set of goals. Do you still do the pool stuff? I remember watching a series of you doing a lot of the pool workouts, which is amazing. I know
Yeah, one of
Julie.
my favorite things is actually put my stepometer thingy because I had to Google is what is that called, Fitbit waterproof in salt water or chlorine water. Is
Mhm.
it? And they said yes, but make sure you wash it after because that might cause like the thing to go haywire. So every time I wash it off with regular water, but yeah, I put it on it and I literally walk back and forth for an hour. That's literally all I do most of the time.
Yeah, pool exercises are, especially pool walking, is amazing. There's
Mhm.
also that added resistance too, right? So like
Yep.
you're going through the water, and we're from Canada, so I have a pool in the backyard, but it's completely frozen right now because it's it's winter time. Is it? What's the weather over there?
Uh, Always cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
But no
No,
snow, right?
yeah, I'm in Western Washington and we get a lot of rain.
A lot of rain.
So we get more rain than Arizona, the desert state, gets
Okay.
100+ degree weather.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we get a lot of rain.
Do you find that challenging? Does it like affect your mood in any way? Does it affect your joints and bones?
My joints and bones, yes. My mood, no, because I actually love the rain. I love
Okay.
going out there because I grew up in it. It's kind of like if you're going to grow up here, you're going to have to get used to it type of thing.
Yeah. And it's relaxing too hearing it rain,
Mhm.
sometimes. Here we get all 4 seasons. So right now it's winter season, or getting to winter season in a few days. And we have this thing called seasonal affective disorder, SAD. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so like starting now, so like we also have daylight savings, which makes it dark at 4 p.m. and it's just yeah, it becomes really tough to stay consistent and stick with your exercise, because all you want to do is sleep, take naps, and that darkness comes early, so you want to go to bed early, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it becomes hard to wake up early in the morning too, when it's still
Mm-hmm.
completely dark. And if you're working a 9 to 5, either you work out at night or you work out in the morning, and when it's pitch black, you know how you get like some energy from the sun, not kind of like Superman, right? But you definitely do get energy from the rays of
Yeah.
the sun. We have to go through months of darkness, not complete darkness, but darkness early. And um that's a challenge for a lot of people, including myself. So um you guys, you just got to stay disciplined, and even without that motivation, you got to continue. How do you stay consistent? And I know it's a topic that we both cover on our pages. Like, I know
Mhm.
we say discipline, but what do you say, what do you do to stay disciplined? Do you have like tricks around the house? Is your wife one of the main people that kind of like give you a nudge into the right direction?
No, my like a lot of people would say, make your why bigger than this, or your consistency is based on the like. For me, I'm what I really want to tell people. Like, how do I get motivated? I just want to tell them, you're an adult, you know what to do.
Mm.
Like, you don't need people to tell you, you have to eat. There are people, but like exactly what people know what they have to do to lose weight, but they just need to actually just do it. Like if you ask anybody, like, how can you lose weight? Eat less calories, or
Mm.
they'd probably say eat less food, but
Yeah,
they mean less calories. Start moving more. Eat less, move more. That's what the saying is.
yeah, yeah.
They can tell you exactly what to do, but they just need to like just stop making excuses and just do the thing that you say you're going to do.
Yeah, it's definitely a simple concept. It's not always easy, but I do agree with you. I always say discipline is kind of like parenting yourself, right? Uh, what would you do if you had a child, and how would you parent that child? Um, you would you would tell them to eat the right foods. You would tell them to sleep early. You would tell them to get some activity and some movement, not to be on your phone constantly, to go out, get some fresh air. And a lot of us who are adults are not that great at adulting, at parenting ourselves, because we have all this freedom and now we can make choices. And understandably, there are things that can affect those choices. Some of us are just completely busy, and a lot of us are going through a lot of stuff, dark periods, and that could kind of uh, cloud our judgment, and not allow us to you know practice that self-care and self-love that we should. But we need to prioritize that. It's so important, and that's why I think to dig deep down inside, and then just really find that self-love and that self love, so that you can perform self care, is really important. But it is definitely difficult. But you're on your journey, and you're doing absolutely amazing. Seems like you don't have any gimmicky tricks or anything. It's just you kind of you understand
Just,
your why,
yeah,
and you
just
have a
do what
goal.
you say you're gonna do. Like I have that saying that I heard from. So I can't even tell you because in 2018 when I was bedbound to that point where I was like, because me being like having that 911 call to me being off of bedbound, there's like a 2 month period because I was like, I have to do something to get off of bedbound.
Yeah.
So I literally spent two, like when I found out I have ADD
Mm.
and I didn't realize why my brain is the way. What I always wondered if other people are like I am with my thinking, my thoughts, and apparently not many people are. Because
Mm.
the best way I could explain to people is I see everything in a wide lens with my hearing, my smelling, my sight. Like literally, I see everything all at once. And then
Okay.
when I'm on this new ADD meds that I'm on, it makes me see through like a toilet paper roll.
Yeah.
And the doctor's like, "That's what focus is." I'm like, "Oh, that's not what I think of focus. Focus to me is chaos," and I found that out.
That's just such a great analogy. I've never thought of it in that manner. So you're hyper focused right now. What would you say your goal is? I saw you pin um on your social media. You're like, I'm making this commitment that in September of 2024, if I don't feel or look a certain way, then I'm deleting all my social. Are you still on that
Oh yeah.
vibe? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because in my mind, when I did that, because if I don't do the video right then and there, it's not gonna happen. I found that out. Like for my YouTube, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make this video, then I make that video, then like it constantly starts piling up, and I think I have 7 or 8, 10 terabytes of memory full of,
Mm.
and majority of my videos I didn't even put out because I was like, I halfway did the project and then just didn't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I don't like finish the video right then and there, it's never getting put out. But I have a lot of good footage that I could like literally go through and try like probably make a really good video from it all.
I
But
messaged you about that, or I commented because you were like, "Oh, what type of content do you want me to see? You don't want to see from me?" And then I mentioned that I really love your vlogs. I really love the day in the life.
mhm,
Just you living your life, right? I think it's really interesting when you look up to somebody, or you're really interested in what the type of content someone's doing. You want to see the behind the scenes, and then you were like, "Oh, I have so much footage. I have so many videos that I didn't release. You need to release them."
uh-huh.
That was
Yeah, all of it is like me actually like figuring out that I could like get up off the ground without any assistance. It's videos of me like, can I like actually like hang from something? Like there's so many videos I'm like, I want to put these out, but then I just don't. Like I have no idea why.
like I think of this analogy of this example about musicians, right? Or musical artists, singers, songwriters, when they write a piece of music and then they're like, okay, I'll just put it out there, and then they don't really like it, but then it becomes a number one hit.
Mhm.
There's as an artist, and I do consider you as an artist, as a creative artist, you're going to definitely be more hard on yourself, and you might see a little flaw in something in your artwork that no one else would see, but there might be other things in that content that would touch someone or would help someone. So and then I used to be like that, right? Like I was I love creating content, I love filming, and there's always things that I put on the cutting room floor. I leave on the cutting room floor, and I don't know if you remember, but there was a certain point where I was releasing 5 videos a day for a
Mhm.
consistent month or two.
He was
Those
all over
are
my. I was gonna say it's about a couple months. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're all over my feed for a while there. Yeah.
Yeah, that was me releasing everything that I said I didn't want to release. So that was me thinking that I'm cringy, or that my face was looking a certain way, or I don't know, my shirt was folded and then you can see a little bit of my flaws, what I considered flaws at the time, or I had something in my eye, or I just said a word that I pronounced it in a way that I was insecure about. And then I just, it was a moment where, and again, going back to my sister, she's the best example. My sister was posting videos of her bald with cancer, and then kind of like at the hospital with tubes going up her veins, and then she was just so raw, and that was helping so many people, and but still with that smile on her face, and still creating content, because like us, she was a content creator.
Mhm.
And then she had her days when she was feeling really sick, and she had her days where she was feeling amazing, but regardless, she was posting because she knew that piece of content could potentially change the life of someone. So I kind of followed in that fashion, and yeah, I released so many videos. I think I was annoying so many people, but it was just like, I'm gonna release it, I don't care. And it was like 5 videos a day, and then now I just, if I film it, unless there's like misinformation, or it's something that I don't feel like it fits the message I'm trying to say, then I won't release it. But otherwise, I film it, and I put it out. So
I was thinking
you're
about doing something like that and putting together like an actual like really long video because all my footage goes back to when I was actually like, I wouldn't say when I got off med bed, but like pretty much like a month or two after.
Yeah.
Like when I was like, let's see, when did I start doing actual TikToks? Was end of 2020, beginning of 21. But there's video footage of me when I was like, I didn't want to make, I didn't want to do this. Like I didn't want to make social media. I didn't want to do that, but I was
Yeah.
making videos because in my mind, I always plan ahead. Like
Hmm.
you've seen those videos of me where like, hi, this is you from 2019. And I want to say, keep going. You're looking awesome. You look like I do videos of me talking to myself just
Yeah.
to keep myself going from the past myself. And then I actually have video that's going to come out in like 1 year, 3 years, 5 years of where I hope to be at in my life. And it's all pushed on YouTube, but it's set to schedule instead of, right now.
What type of content are you doing on YouTube right now in terms of long form?
Oh, right now it's so what I want to do starting January, literally the first day of the year, is showing up until like 9 months straight of vlogging of what I'm doing to lose the weight. Like literally everything from my food to my exercises to like I started meditating 3 days ago, like actually like trying to because I always want to move, I always want to do something, but I never know what to do. So it's like I get paralyzed because I don't know what to do, so I do nothing.
Mm.
It's a weird concept. Like you want to do everything, but because you want to do everything, you end up doing nothing.
I find that so meditation is definitely something that I always struggled with because when you have a creative mind, you just kind of want to, that's all you're thinking about, right? Like you can't, it's hard to be in the moment. You're trying to think of different ideas and then you want to constantly execute. So that was a struggle and that still is a struggle for me, is to kind of like sit down and just do nothing. But I find that early mornings is the best time. I have no choice because I would love to say that I'm part of the 5 a.m. club because I choose to be, but I have to bring my fiance and my stepdaughter to the train station early in the morning. So I kind of take that as an opportunity once I get back home before I get into the chaos of everything, is just to kind of be at peace and um be in the moment, be in silence, and not all the time. Sometimes I have my coffee and I just kind of listen to podcasts, watch some inspirational YouTube videos, or what I try not to do is scroll. It's tough, but yeah, it's just to be alone and meditate, I guess. When I was running, it was kind of like a form of meditation because you can't do anything else besides running. I was training for a half marathon over the summer, and when you're running, you can't do anything else besides not stop. So I kind of got a hang of that from my running training. But yeah, it's definitely still something that I'm struggling. You're part of the 5 a.m. I saw you woke up at 5 a.m. today. I saw that in your Instagram story.
Yeah. So I'm a 6 a.m. person. Like
Yeah.
I did that because if I could get everything done between 6 and 9, my workout, my morning walk, it's not that far, like from my room to my mailbox to my front porch back to the mailbox to like it takes 7 minutes to walk from the mailbox back to my workout area.
Oh, great.
And
Yeah.
then I take a break and then I walk it again. And that's my morning walk. It's not long, about 15 minutes, but
Hmm.
it's something that I do literally every single day at 6 a.m. And then we go to the gym. Lately, I don't know what it is about December. It's never been this busy. I think people are starting to figure out January is a huge busy day.
Yeah.
So now
So
they're going in December.
yeah.
It's always busy, and I don't like recording when it's super busy. So I haven't been recording in the gym at all.
But you've been
It
going.
sucks.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Um, what are your what type of workouts are you doing at the gym?
So on Monday and Thursday is like chest, arms, shoulders, back, and then on Tuesday and Friday, I have to think because I do two upper body and two lower body, and then cardio on Wednesday and Saturday, and then Sunday is like our like rest day. We don't really rest, but we do very much more minimal than what we usually do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I saw you. You're very strong, man. You're using the whole stack when you're doing like pull downs and all that. That's crazy.
I know
Okay.
my personal trainer, we do her once a week on it changes because she said she doesn't want us to be just strictly arms or just strict like because I
Yeah.
told her what workout regimen I do because I did powerlifting. I know to set up my own workout regimen. I know the difference between push and pull. I know how to like base pulls. You want to pull it and then flex your back muscles to get that good. I know how to do it all. It just I just stopped when I became an adult.
Yeah, yeah.
Our coach really his big old mindset was we're champions for 27 years straight. We have to do champions, so we're going to teach you everything that we know about weightlifting and powerlifting, and you guys are all going to be strong. That was the mentality that I learned from, and he taught us everything, and it it's still in my mind. I know how to do it, and I still show my wife. I show my friends because I'm like I know this. I just don't do it. But my bench press got back up to 300. I'm hoping it'll get back to 140.
Yeah. Yeah, you're crazy strong, which is amazing. Building muscle is so important. It's what a lot of people don't understand. They only think that cardio is the key to weight loss, but when you pack on that muscle, it makes a huge difference in terms of your metabolism, and it just requires more calories. So we actually, for my app, are including some weightlifting exercises, which is really cool. I have a friend who used to be a bodybuilder, got a few injuries in his knees, and then is doing like the more gentle approach, but still has an incredible knowledge when it comes to building muscle. So we filmed in my garage with minimal equipment, just a workout bench and a few dumbbells, a bodybuilding slash strength training workout plan, which is really exciting. Not so much for like the absolute beginner, but it's kind of like a little bit of a step up. So there are some exercises that will require you to go on the bench, on your back. There are some floor stuff, but there's always an alternative to it. But it's really cool. I'm super excited, and hopefully the community will appreciate that. But yeah, definitely stuff that you can do in the gym, but you can do in your garage as an alternative. You know what I noticed the most out of your progress is just like how you're always smiling. Like I had like when we met or when I was watching your videos at first, you were like a happy fella, but right now, like I feel like it's just pure happy vibes and just like even the tone of your voice, like the
Mhm.
intonation. Like I noticed that, and I always tell people like don't worry about don't focus too much about the scale, obviously, because oh my gosh, that there's just so many factors that go into what you actually weigh, your muscle mass and all that stuff. It's water retention and all that stuff is actually not accurate. But like pay attention to your mood, how you feel, your energy, and like you just mentioned, how long does it take you to go up the ramp, go up the stairs, and this and that? How do you feel in your clothes, and just like, are you in a better mood? Are you sleeping well? And what I noticed from you is your energy levels, but also your creativity, because for you to be pumping out, and I know how hard it is because I'm a creator too, but for you to be creating all this content, it takes like a mindset that not a lot of people can handle, right? Like to be creative, you need to essentially be healthy, and uh, for sure your health has improved just at the fact that you're more creative now. Would you agree?
Yeah. I never really thought that my health, yeah. Like content creation for me has become like a second nature type of thing. I don't know.
Mm.
And like anywhere I go now, I'm like, was I able to do this last year? Oh, that'd be cool if I could video that. It
Yeah.
like anything I do now, I'm like, I don't think I was even able to walk. I think last year I was doing a lot more walking, but not what I'm doing now. But like say 2 years ago when I was like walking up the ramp like 8 times, 5 times in one day, and that was literally all my steps because I was winning for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But and now I'm thinking like all the time, like was I able to walk from our parking spot to in the store to go shopping, to dink around and actually talk with someone and then come out and not even use a wheelchair or walker? No, I
Mm.
wasn't, and now I am like we literally did that today, and not even thinking about, okay, we need our wheelchair, we need the walker, we need, is there a place to sit? Can I rest? Like that, we're not even thinking about that anymore.
So when do you feel those times of doubt? Because a lot of people like sometimes, you just said it, right? Like there's so much progress that you made and you're going to continue to make progress. When when do you doubt yourself? Is it from comments, or is it just one day when you're not feeling great?
I found out it's usually after I push myself the day before when I'm laying down doing nothing, like when I'm
Mm.
aching and hurting from doing like 10,000 steps and I'm laying there, or if I play video games for more than an hour, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Like I sit here and play video games for an hour, and why? Like this is doing nothing. Like nowadays I want to do something that progresses me
Yeah.
and doesn't keep me stagnant. Like I was stagnant for the whole year bedbound. I was stagnant all of my 20s, all of my 30s, yeah. And I just want to keep progressing everything I do and playing
So
video games. Like I'll play them like here and there, but not like I used to, not 16 hours a day like I used to,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
So it's kind of like a trigger for you when you're feeling um bedbound, essentially, from the pain from the previous workout. It kind of triggers you to think of like
Mhm.
how you used to feel prior. And same thing when you play, even if it's just an hour of video games, you feel, it reminds you of the time when you were playing 16 hours a day. And
Mhm.
those are little triggers that I could totally understand how that could affect you. And how do you overcome that? You just keep pushing, or do you
Yeah,
have like a mantra that you tell yourself to get out of that rut?
for me, it just like I think I made a video on it. Like I take it one day at a time. Yesterday I might have felt like crap. I doubted myself. I didn't feel so good. Like you see it in my content, like probably once or maybe up to 3 times a month. Make these like sad, I'm angry at myself posts. But the next day I'm like, I'm sure because it's a whole new day. To me, it's like a fresh start. Everything that went bad yesterday or the day before, it's a new day. I'm gonna do what I can today to move myself forward. Those are minor setbacks. Let's see if I not really make it up, but let's see what I can do today to make myself better.
Having a why is important for me, and I think it's important for a lot of people getting started. You obviously found a lot of success in your journey so far. Did you have a why? Do you still have a why? What drives you to continue pushing?
I have multiple whys, and I think about them literally. I think 24/7.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I'm like I need to progress my life. Is I want to not be stagnant anymore. I want to live. Like literally on my goals board is number one. Is I want to live. Don't
Mm.
be stagnant anymore. Is literally number one, and that's literally what I want. I want to live. I want to have a family. To have the family, I have to, not be bedbound, not be as big as I am, because right now it's hard to say, but it's an early grave. Constantly being over 400 pounds your whole life. It's you don't know when, but it's going to happen. Early, and just not. I don't want to be fat in 40 is my new thing. I want to keep saying. I tell myself that a lot because I'm 38 right now. I've always been big, and I was part of that movement of I'm fat and you're gonna accept me the way I am because this is me type of person. And I didn't know that there's a name for it, fat acceptance, until literally TikTok. I'm not lying with you. I didn't know that was a thing. But I was told everyone around me like this is how I am. You either like me or you don't. Because I
Mm.
was my self-esteem, no matter how big I was, is always top notch. Like I have no idea where that came from all the
Maybe
time. Like
you're a child, you're a youth as an athlete, right? Like
yeah, maybe yeah.
if you're benching what 300 something pounds, I think you
400, 440.
400,
Yep.
yeah, 440.
Mhm.
You gain a lot of confidence. Is there like any tips that you would give like that helped you in your journey going down from 674 to 460, or was it mainly the movement or getting into a habit of working out that really helped you?
So for me personally, it was cutting back on fast food and soda
Yeah.
because fast food was literally 3 out of 3 meals, 90% of the time. Like we'd have, McDonald's breakfast sandwich. I'm forgetting what they're called,
Yeah.
but and then we'd have like Subway or we'd have Burger King, and then for dinner we'd have, McDonald's or Jack in the Box, or literally every single meal was fast food.
Do you have a resolution for 2023? Do you have a resolution for 2024, or is that already put out there from everything that you've posted?
For like it's hard for me to come up with New Year's resolutions because for me my goals have always been, get my independence back, to be able to not need help with, because when I was bedbound I had to have help with just my wife likes to explain it like when we meet someone and tell my story is she says, think about everything you do in your life. Now imagine you have to have help with everything you do. Put your socks, shoes on, brush your hair, take a bath, stand up. You need help with everything. Getting in the car, walking down the ramp, walking outside, stepping over the little tiny ledge that's less than an inch because I couldn't lift up my foot that high. Like she had to literally like help me pick up my foot a little bit more than what I could lift it up. Like there's so many things that I'm just yeah. Get my independence back has always been up there in the number one.
Yeah.
And like my goals haven't changed because I feel like I haven't hit them yet. Like I always say I never made a number goal because I don't want to say I want to lose 100 pounds this year and then be disappointed if I only lose only. But if I lose like 55 pounds or 52, that's still
Yeah.
a great accomplishment. But I didn't hit my 100, and I get down on myself if I don't meet my goals of the year. I beat myself up a lot.
Well, a strategy that I found was helpful for me. I don't know if it's going to work for you. If you write, give yourself micro, meso, and macro goals. I feel like you're constantly on focusing on the macro, but there's also the meso and there's also the micro, which I guess you can divide them on like daily and weekly goals and month or quarterly goals, and then you have like the big macro goal, which is like the year, the 5-year plan type thing. So you're definitely hitting your micro goals, you've definitely hit your meso goals, and you are very close, if not super on your way to that macro goal, which is gaining your independence, which I'm already seeing it right now, right? Like, and I'm sure you see it already just from the videos that you post, and you're climbing up the stairs, you're not overly dependent or dependent at all on that wheelchair. So yeah, you're killing it, you're doing it, and it's definitely something to be proud of. But I get the whole New Year's resolution thing where it's like you've always been focused on the same goal year after year. I don't even remember my resolutions because I write it. I think I'm gonna do like a fun resolution this year, like a silly one. I don't know, like do something that's out of my comfort zone. Sing
Mhm.
karaoke. I've never done that in my life in public, and I'm not saying that this is going to be my resolution because my fiance is going to hear this and she's going to be like, "Your resolution." But I've never done so. I think I'm going to do something like silly like that and then try to hit it before the end of next year. I appreciate it, man. Honestly, it's
Mhm.
such a pleasure talking to you, and we'll chat. We'll text each other, and then I'll definitely see you in 2024. Make it happen for sure. Resolution, New Year's
Yes.
resolution. I'll do something. Make a video with the native saying.
In
That's on
person.
it.
Yeah.
In person. I'm gonna write it down.